Hello,
Mm.
friends. Welcome back. We are live once again with our Game of Thrones Song of Ice and Fire role-playing campaign after the fire. Susie's just adjusting her camera. We're whinging about having to start for some reason, and we're ready to go? Question mark. Hi, folks. Well, yeah, not a lot to say just yet about this upcoming episode, but we're gonna be in for a fun ride, I'm sure. Speaking of fun rides,
Oh,
hey Tom,
I beg your pardon.
how's it going?
Well, apart from 5 seconds ago, it was going all right. Yeah, yeah, it's all right. Just another day, another week down,
Yeah,
another dollar. You know the usual stuff as it
dollar.
is. Nothing particularly excited. If I'm honest, it's not particularly exciting. The weather's getting better, I guess.
I was
Yay.
going to ask genuinely, like, have you had some? You've had some better weather,
Yeah. It's
surely.
been dry. It's been dry. It's a bit weird. Like the mornings are like freezing. And then obviously it gets slowly warmer and warmer and warmer as the day goes by. And then by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you're baking. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, that's about it, really. That's about it. Nothing too special. I wish I could fill this time a bit more, but there really isn't anything really to talk about in my life. It's
It's all right,
so
mate.
boring at
It's all
this
right.
moment.
Okay.
Yeah, not that I'm complaining, all right. It's fine, I just no stress, just
Yeah, fair. Nice one.
yeah.
And the lovely Millie is back with us. Hello, my friend. How you doing?
Oh, hello. Yes,
Hello.
very excited about this today
Good.
because last time was interesting. But there clearly won't be any repercussions whatsoever, and everything's going to go swimmingly, and we'll just like drink cider and be happy all this episode.
You're going to fit
right?
in so well. So well.
I haven't been up to much. This is the last day, hopefully, fingers crossed, of my streaming room looking like this, because tomorrow morning I'm ripping it all apart and starting to lay carpet tiles and plaster walls and stuff. Not in that order, that would be stupid. So fingers crossed.
So you're
I'll
properly
actually get
ripping
to
it
do some
out.
streaming. Yeah.
Oh God!
I mean,
Wow.
not like taking walls down or anything,
No,
but
no, no.
yeah, a lot needs doing.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
gonna be exciting.
Sweet. Yeah, keep us posted.
I will.
Lots of photos and stuff. That'd be cool. Nice. All right. And Susie, hello, my buccaneer pal. I was trying to rhyme that and I couldn't. Or alliterate that and I couldn't. I don't know.
No.
No.
Pirate pal.
Pirate pal. That works. Buccaneer.
There you go.
Bro.
Boat buddy.
Boat buddy.
Oh, buddy. Oh, that's so good. Fuck.
That's good.
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Stuff and things. It's gonna be fine for Myria this week, isn't it? It's gonna be great.
I'm glad we all remember what words are tonight. Fuck me. This is going to be
It
good.
Not that
really
we need
is
them
that
for a
kind of
role play
energy.
scenario,
It's gonna be
right?
good, isn't it?
But yeah, so Myria's gonna be fine. Nothing bad's gonna happen to her after she got caught sneaking into the palace at night very suspiciously with a hot boy.
No.
Maybe I can spin this. I think I can. I hope I can spin this. But yeah, so we're gonna find out what happens to her this week. The only other thing I have to say is hashtag free Cuthbert. I am here in solidarity with the Aldi One. Hashtag free Cuthbert. Fuck Marks and Spencers.
I might need to chat to James about our brand representation. Maybe. Are we free Cuthbert? Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Solidarity with the caterpillar cake.
I'm just pro more cake, generally. If they're saying there has to be less cake, then they are my enemy.
Down with the cake bourgeoisie.
But you just let them eat cake, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, let them eat cake.
I don't
Marks
care
and
about them.
Spencers.
I want to eat
Let
cake.
them eat cake.
We're even through chat. I'm feeling Don's like,
Yeah.
I want to explain it for Don. Don, there are two companies. One of them's kind of in the UK at the moment. One of them's kind of posh. One of them's kind of lower market, I guess, and specializes in being cheaper than everybody else, but offering stuff that's kind of fancy-ish. Like you get some randomly nice stuff in the aisles, right? And I mean, there's no explaining the situation precisely, but basically, the posh company is trying to sue or is cease and desist the cheaper company for copying a very popular cake design. That's the design of a caterpillar, and they look very similar, but every other supermarket in the country basically makes a variant of this cake. So then this feud, this Twitter feud going on apparently as well. So
it doesn't fucking matter at all in the scale of things in the world in general. This cake drama means nothing, but I'm living for it.
It's going to age so well on the YouTube playlist.
It's nice to be worried about something like cake, to be honest.
Yeah,
right.
Fair.
You know, just So anyway.
Yeah, Kurt, that's exactly it. Like it's like Target suing Walmart for something. Exactly. If Target came out with something that looked almost exactly like the other thing and called it something slightly different. Yeah, basically. Should probably play Game of Thrones, I guess. Speaking of worrying
Sam,
about something that's not.
How's your week been, Sam? You know, you always ask us how we've been. How have you been?
Oh, it's always work is always, from fixing one thing to the other. Now, my job seems to be going around, helping people, making sure we fix problems. Because like any company in my, 9 to 5, there are always things to fix. So it's, and the only downside of remote working is that basically I have a calendar that's just kind of full of meetings. And so rather than just being in an office and chatting to somebody, you've got to book a Google call, and then you've got to attend the Google call, and then everyone's got to do all of that shenanigans too. Mics on, mics off, cameras on, cameras off. Everyone's, bye, bye, bye at the end when, I'm talking to them like half an hour later. So, yeah, apart from that, it's all right. Sales are going well for the spy game. They're trickling through. So if you are watching and you haven't got it already and you fancy a bit of 5e powered espionage and action, then you can check out the spy game at blackcatsgamingshop.com, or you can also get it at Drive-Thru RPG as well. Thanks for that, Susie. It might be spy game now. It might be spy.
Nope. I don't know what the commands are.
Shop.
I'm bad at my job.
I changed it the other day. It's shop. There we go. Fucking all right. I mean, without further ado, okay, we're going to start tonight with Myria, because I thought that would be fun to start with.
I don't like going first. Nothing ever good happens when I go first.
I knew I should have got popcorn.
Exactly,
I got kidnapped. I got almost killed. Like, there's a pattern, Sam. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% a pattern. Okay.
Okay.
How do we find Myria next to Nikos in their cell?
Oh, good, great.
They've been frog marched from when they got caught, essentially just chucked in a holding cell. And you think, based maybe on roughly how you slept, but also just the bit of light that's coming in through the very small barred tiny window at the kind of top of the holding cell that you've got, it's light, so you think it's morning.
Mm-hmm.
How do we find her?
Okay, are they in separate cells or just the same cell?
No, they've just been chucked in together.
Okay. I think she looks like weirdly relaxed for her situation. She's not like clinging at the bars like, let me out. I think she's kind of just like laid down. I think she's got resting her head on her hands. And she's obviously like high key panicking internally, but she's trying to stay cool externally.
Nikos rather grumpily kind of huffing as he does so, kind of having been kind of fetal away from you, so you've got his back there, kind of turning and really awkwardly kind of turning over to the other shoulder as that one aches, and he kind of moves it round and there's just a little respite, and there's just a sigh as he kind of lays around and settles himself back down again, but in that kind of, half sleepy haze, he's kind of opening his eyes and they meet yours, and he kind of gives you a kind of understanding look of, that slight panic behind the eyes.
I think to lighten the mood a little bit, she says, when you sleep on the ground, you shouldn't sleep on your side. It hurts more.
I've only ever slept on my side.
Well, you should try. I mean, how's it working out for you? Look at that shoulder.
And he kind of grunts a little, and he actually sits back up now and kind of rests the top of his back on the cell wall behind you, which is just a stucco wall. It's there's no bars around particularly, and there's a wooden door for the cell door. And he kind of looks up at the window. It could be anything from very early morning till the afternoon. I could not tell.
I suspect we won't find out until they take us from the cells into wherever they intend to take us.
I think I overheard a guard saying, but maybe I dreamt it, that they were going to bring us before the court, just for questions. Good. But they don't seem to be taking it too seriously. Maybe they know kind of who we are or something.
Maybe. I mean, we've been traveling with the Queen, no? So perhaps we'll get some leniency.
I hope so.
Speaking of, what's our cover story?
Oof. Well, we got something close to the truth. Say that we wanted to see the place. Is the sands not allow have not been kind of given quarter, so we just wanted to see what the fuss was about, what the party was about. Sure, I've been to Sunspear a couple of times, and but I don't think anyone would recognize me particularly if we spun that and said that we were just very interested, excited to be here.
I think so, and if all else fails, I did make a good impression with the prince at the water gardens.
Ah, yes, he might recognize us. Yeah.
There we go. It might be an avenue, no?
Maybe. Just remind me, Susie. Nikos doesn't know who you are, but is he involved with your plot?
I don't think he has been externally hired like Myria was. I think he's just someone she's kind of grown close to as they've traveled. He definitely doesn't know who she is, and he definitely doesn't know what she's here to do.
Sure thing. Okay.
She hasn't told him, at least. So if he knows, someone else has told him.
Yeah. The two of you lie there probably lazily for what seems to be maybe another half hour. Before there's the sudden and fairly loud noise of a deadbolt latch going at the door, and then it creaking open to reveal a couple of Martell guards behind it, just carrying curved swords at their sides in their scabbards. No spears down here, it's too close quarter. And then entering... one with a lantern in the corridor, but the first one just coming in, giving Nikos a kick on the boot, and sees that you're awake. He says, "The prince will see you now."
Internally, Myria's like, which prince? But she gets up, dusts herself down, tries to make herself look as presentable as possible. I think she gives a little half-hearted smile to Nikos, and she says, "Wish us luck."
He just, his eyebrows just kind of shift upwards as if to acknowledge that, and as the two of you are led out into the palace itself, you're taken through a series of columned corridors, and at one time a beautiful courtyard of raised beds, beautiful plants and flowers that you don't regularly see, including a couple of large palms in the corners, and these beautiful kind of pointed archways and loads of these columns around. It's a really striking architecture that's different from the rest of Westeros. And then finally, you're taken into a large, courtly hall. And it's adorned with beautiful Dornish artwork, tapestries, even some paintings. And then they're hanging at the end, just off to one side above the throne, that in itself is currently intricately wrought in iron, and has all these kind of details of kind of flowers and the type, and then it's kind of woven almost wrought in iron, but woven around the symbol of the house, with uncharacteristically for a throne, like a kind of almost like a sunshade over the top. But just above that is the portrait of Daenerys Targaryen, Prince Martell's wife. And sat around court is not as many courtiers as you would have feared, I'd imagine. Only a few. Highborn courtiers from around the realm, but then also a couple of the prince's small council as well. But sat on the throne will be the young Myrion Martell, and to his side, his mother sat just down from the dais on a chair in front of the court. And then to his left, one of his small council. And this will be... you recognise the heraldry, in fact. This is... he's wearing a kind of Dornish robes, but in black. And stained and dyed into the front of his garb is this silhouette of a woman reaching up to a sun or a star from a tree. Did you want to try and figure out who that was?
Yeah, because I was trying to rack my brain for what I know it is. But yeah, what do I roll to see if I know who that is?
Cunning memory.
Cunning
memory. Well,
memory.
how are you, if you're approaching it with the, do I know who this is, or do I recognise this heraldry?
No, it's do I know who this is,
Okay.
I think. Cunning memory. Let's go. 15. Yes, Myria.
It's a good result. Nice dab too.
I didn't dab, I just clapped, but never mind. Okay. Let's
Sure.
go.
Okay, this is Lord Willem Ladybright. So this is the Castellan of Sunspear.
Okay.
Having gathered a little bit of information from your travels and kind of what the makeup of the Dornish court is, I can imagine that you've done a little bit of work on that. And it's a little bit different from your average Westerosi court. The roles are a little bit different. There is a Lord Treasurer, of course, but there is also a role that is Lord of the Wells, and that's kind of a stewardship role, but for the entire realm. And it's modelled on an ancient title that certain lords of Dorne used to hold, before it was kind of more formalised when after the conquest. There's a Lord of Whispers, obviously. Then the Castellan takes more of the kind of castle and kind of this domain's stewardship. So Lady Bright's equivalent would be Gwaine Oakhart in Highgarden, for example.
Okay.
And then he has a marshal, marshal of the armies and stuff, and then a Lord Admiral as well. If you want,
that's Corgyle, right? From it could have changed.
Corgyle being the master of ships to the king,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Prince Myrion Martell is going to have a different Lord Admiral. Why don't you roll for me to see who the Lord Admiral is?
Okay. So that's going to be knowledge, right?
This is going to be more like knowledge. I'd say sits streetwise in this case because you're trying to gather that information up as you go along.
Okay. 15. Oh no, this
Good
does
one.
not bode well for me.
Good one, random number generator. Okay. Yeah, have fun with this. The current Lord Admiral, who you look around the court for this and find that he is absent, thankfully, because it is Lord Horatio Ironwood.
Oh, fuck off! No. Good. I'm glad he's not here because otherwise my assassination plans would have to move up a little bit. Great.
But sat upon the dais is the young Myrion Martell, still here and ruling Sunspear in his father's stead. You have no word about Myrion Martell. Last you heard, he was in King's Landing, obviously, at the service of the king, as Hand of the King. And so, of course, his son, with some counsel, will be the one who is ruling Sunspear, in effect ruling Dawn in his name currently. So you are frog marched forward to just below the dais, and then you're not shoved around and you're not thrown to one knee or anything like that. But the guards do look at you, and at least your breeding would let you know that you're supposed to be like bowing at this point.
Yeah, no, like as she sort of like jostled forward a little bit and she moves forward, she'll look up at him and she'll give a deep bow. But I think also as she sort of comes up, she gives him like a little hint of a cheeky smile, because she knows they had a little connection. she's trying something.
Yeah, this morning Myrion looks like all business, like he's really trying to look all business. This is a man just grown, so he'll be 16, and he looks to be both really enjoying his time at court, but also, he's enjoying the attention, certainly. You get that sense from him of him kind of soaking up the atmosphere in that sense. So you are essentially presented, I would say, in terms of Lord Willem. Basically describing how you were found. You were found sneaking through the yard, having got past the gate somehow. And when challenged, you didn't immediately identify yourself, and the guards didn't recognize you as meaning to be there, so you got thrown in the cell for the night. And now you're just here to answer what you were doing, essentially. So we are going to have an intrigue. Don't worry about rolling though. Myrion is going to go first. This is his court. He is in the throne.
That's valid.
Cool. Alrighty. And his guard. You have a look around. His guards surround this place. If anything were to kick off, it would absolutely be your demise. And he looks to be bolstered by that, certainly. Okie dokie. He looks at you, and there is that like little flash of kind of recognition and a little hint of a smile behind his face as he obscures it, as he kind of lounges in the throne. And then he just says, "Speak."
Okay.
So he's gonna hold his action to get some bonus dice.
So Myria sort of casts a quick glance at Nikos and tries to give him like a little reassuring smile as she looks up at Prince Myrion. And she says, Your Grace, I regret that I have to meet you this morning in such a manner. I must apologize for my transgressions. You see, my friend and I We merely wanted to get a look at the castle. You see, sands are not allowed in here, so we thought, it was nighttime, no one was around, we wouldn't be bothering anyone if we just snuck inside and had a quick look. There were no ill intentions, merely curiosity and foolishness and a little bit of alcohol.
There are some titters from around the courtiers that are assembled. Somewhat in slight recognition. All right. He's silent for a second, but make me the roll.
Okay. God, what am I even using for this? I think I'm charming him. She's going for a little cheeky charm.
Yeah, no problem.
So persuasion, charm, and then oh boy, hang on, I forgot. Myria has a gajillion things to add to these.
It's all right. Talk us through them.
Okay, so she has charismatic, which is the +2 to all tests involving charm. She's not deceptive just yet, so that's it. That's all she gets to add to this one. I just have to double check. No bonus die, no penalty die. Add a 2 to that. That's 21.
This is deception, though, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true. She is lying. Okay.
Like actually lying. Like I'm not even trying to like actually lying.
It's true. It is true. Okay, deception. I mean, it's still 4 die that I'd be rolling with deception anyway. With
I'll give you the charm +2 thing though.
Yeah.
If it's basically the same possible result, I can go with that result.
It's higher. Oh. It's higher because Myria is a great liar. So I added my cunning rank to all deceptions, so that would make it 24. And then I had half persuasion rank, so that would be 26.
Shit. All right. She a liar. Fucking hell.
She's a big liar.
Cool. Oof. That is 3 degrees of success.
So that would be 12.
Maybe it's 4 degrees of success. Hang on. 26?
26.
No, it is 3 degrees. No, it is 4 degrees. Oh my god, blur. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 degrees of success.
16.
You got any crits in there? 2 6s. Yep.
2 6s. Yeah. What is that now? Crit chart.
That is vulnerable hit. Permanently reduce your opponent's DR by 1.
Okay. So charming.
So
the only
charming.
time a lie has worked for me.
It's good though. It's very good.
Ever gonna work? Now's the time.
What is your persuasion rank?
4.
So 4 times 4. Oof. All right. Fuck it. Sure. Just one shot the prince. That's fine. But he stands, and you immediately, because you've succeeded, and then we can frame the we can frame the actual objective stuff in a second. But because you've won, I think you'll be able to know immediately. He stands and he's about to like do a bit. Like he's taken it in, he believes it, but he's about to kind of do a skit, and he does some jokes around the court about the wine flowing, and he riffs off of it a little bit, and he almost like as the courtiers kind of laugh along with him and enjoy this kind of little skit he's doing, you see him revel in that just a little bit. Like he enjoys holding court, and he enjoys this kind of back and forth that he gets from people. This is a very different atmosphere from like most courts in Westeros that you've come across too. You know, Leo is certainly not like this. You can't imagine Daeron the Good being like this. So this is something uniquely different. But he turns to you and he says, Oh, actually, sorry. He turns to his Castellan, and he asks if it's true. Is this true? The Sands are not permitted to walk in these halls. And his Castellan turns to him and he says, "Well, my lord, it's just that, my prince, there's just so many of them on this entourage, and they have made their own camp follower group, in fact, and." He's kind of wringing his hands just a little bit, but Mayron is still in that slightly playful mood. He turns to his mother, and he says, Did I decide that the Sands could not see the beauty of Sunspear, its keep, its towers?" And she said, she looks a little bored and a little pissed off, but she turns to him and she says, "No, my prince." And he, rather loudly proclaims, "Very well. Let it be known, then, that the Sands of Dorne can come and go within these halls as they like." And there's a few kind of scatterings of applause, of like claps from a few courtiers. A bit of music starts playing, and then you see off one kind of colonnade off towards a courtyard. Her Grace the Queen is walking through with a small entourage of courtiers, and she's speaking to another of his small council. But the guards back off, and essentially you are ushered aside as, another more lowborn problem comes to his court, something about the tax on a certain goods in a certain district and them not being right or something like that. So you are here. I mean, you've probably not eaten much overnight. You're probably hungry for breakfast, but you do have the freedom to a certain degree of the keep of Sunspear itself. Is there anything you'd like to do? Is there anything you'd like to find out? Is there anything that, do you just want to go back and grab some food and chill out? Or
I think while Myria is here, I think she does want to find out where Marin is, if he is still at King's Landing, because the Queen brought her here, and she has to assume the Queen knew he was not here. So she's like, "Where the fuck is he? Do I have to go all the way back to fucking do the, So she's gonna try and figure out where Marin is.
Okay.
But she's just going to do it in a sort of an extremely casual way, like she was surprised to see the young prince here. She thought she heard the Prince Myron was here, that kind of deal. She's trying to do some like low key, intriguey, without being like, "Yo, where's the prince?" Because he's got an appointment with my dagger. Probably get her in trouble.
That's the approach you should take. Where is he?
Where is it?
I want to stab him.
I got beef.
Oh my days. All right. I should cheat sheet this bit because we always go back to these rules of like how long you're taking and whether you can get the information. This is totes a streetwise check though. Knowledge streetwise. And difficulty depends on how much time you spent haunting the area. Good choice of language there. Interesting.
It's an extremely Simon thing to do.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Your choice. You can. I will tell you. Either way. But I may obscure the information if you don't succeed.
Gotcha.
But do you want to get a good, accurate tell on his location by spending? So like an hour is a difficulty 18 roll. 4 hours is like difficulty 15. A night is 12. A day is 9. A whole week is 6. Like if you want to actually just be around the court and intel, because to be honest, the way that the two locations are moving in time, you've got time. We're picking up straight off where Myria was last time, so you've got time if you
yeah,
just want to
do you know
gather
what?
that kind of stuff.
I think we'll take the day to do it, right? Because then Miri can play it off as her just integrating with the court. You know, she's just going and making small talk. Now she's allowed here. I think she dashes back to their accommodations for the fancy dress she bought, and for a little
Nice.
wash, really quick scran, and then because it's not very ladylike to shove your face full of fucking bread, is it, at court? So she's going to be back at their lodgings like, and then head back to court.
Yeah. And it's basically just a really rough breakfast of bread. And like, I can imagine that basically like deviled eggs are a kind of Dornish thing, right? It's, spiced
That
stuff.
court's going to stink.
You just carpet bombing around, like
Just crop dusting.
crop dusting. That's it. Yeah.
No, but I think she just promised Nikos that she'll chat to him properly later, because she put him through a ton of shit for that. But yeah, so she's like, I'll explain later. I'll tell you more. I'll talk to you later. But right now we've got shit to do. So she gets all fancied up, gussied up, and we're gonna spend the day trying to find that info.
Sure. Roll me a challenging 9 test then. And additional degrees of success. I'll give you some questions to ask as well.
Sweet. All right. It's streetwise.
You got any? Okay, cool. 12. It's 1 degree of success. So yeah, you learn that Prince Maron Martell is heading here. And he's due imminently. So yeah, essentially you can imagine that. He has been traveling from King's Landing via ship to Sunspear because it has a little harbour on it. So.
Okay. So I got 1 degree of success. So that's just the information I get, right?
It's just the information that you get. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just learn that from spending the day. But you do mingle around the court and you do get kind of an eye on people. Just close the cheat sheet. That was helpful. Let me take you through some of the
goal
court
there
as well.
is to just make her as a known presence at court. So if she's seen at court, it's not strange that she's there, right? It's to make people go, oh, it's her. She's the sand girl that's at court now. Like, that's the goal, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. That's no problem. Okay. All right. So you get an idea, and let me know if you want to actually, if there is kind of one item of info on this, as I'll just go through a little bit of the court as I wrote a bit more out about like who's there. If there's one, because I'll do it vaguely, and if there's one avenue you actually want to be like, oh, actually I want to know who that is or what that's about or whatever, then we'll focus on one thing, just as in addition to the time you're spending here around. But it makes sense that you just being around this court, you will get to know, or you'll be able to kind of pluck faces out of the crowd of like who's who. So obviously, Prince Maron's wife is here. Princess Daenerys. And from what you can tell, like, she didn't make you in that moment.
Yeah, because I was like,
Yeah, it's been a bit of time as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You've really grown up since then. But it's also, in a way, that was so quick too. Like, she didn't really interact with you or what was going on. So Prince Maorin is ruling in his father's stead, and then he seems to have a brother and a sister here, so 10 and 12 respectively. There is a maester here, as you'd expect a maester to be, kind of late middle age. Seems to be Dornish too. So they seem to have kept that. Try to keep it kind of within the realm when they've been getting their maester. And then let's have a look at some of these heraldries. Yeah, there we go. So there is a lady at court here who seems to... Actually, she was the one who seemed to be chatting a bit with the Queen, and then seems to have binders and have lots of duties here around court. Her silks, her garb, is heralded as gold with a green dragon on it eating its own tail. Yeah. And then is that... Yeah, that went through. Nice. Okay. You come to find that the Lord of the Wells, as you just kind of hear an earshot was pointed out to you, maybe, has a yellow hand or a golden hand on a Girony red and black. So that's like imagine like a dartboard. And then his Maramartel's Lord of Whispers at the moment is another Sand by the name of Tristane.
Oh.
Lord Willem Lady Bright, his Castellan. Let's have a look at this heraldry as well. And then there is what seems to be a fair... it's kind of martial. You can tell by the look almost immediately from the way that he's dressed. And this knight has a kind of surcoat, or a kind of purple surcoat, in fact, with a well-dyed sash that is covered in lemons. And then Horatio Ironwood is absent. But the other thing you notice that you'll identify straight away is that there is a young man, or an old squire, whichever way you want to view it, here, who I imagine you keep your distance from, because while you don't recognize his face, he's wearing the heraldry of House Blackmont. There's wearing a yellow tabard, it's kind of silken kind of tabard thing, with that vulture with a baby in its arms, in its claws.
Oh. Yeah.
And you see the two of them, Prince Mayron and this squire, talking quite a lot, and the squire seems to have Prince Mayron's confidence.
Well, seeing as he's seemingly family, I think Myria wants to like low-key find out a little bit more about him. No, she's not going to go near him just at the minute, just in case. But yeah, she's going to try and figure out whomst.
All right. I'd let you take a memory check from this.
Okay.
Rather than more streetwise.
Oh, I just thought of who it could be. Oh. 14.
Okay, for sure. With that, you would absolutely know that this isn't any of the like major line, the close family. Just from like who you recognize, basically. So this could be a brother-in-law, cousin. Could even be someone who is like pretending to be a Blackmont and kind of claiming it from afar with some kind of, dubious familial connection.
Who would ever do that?
In order to try and, claim it. Essentially, the play would be, beg the Prince of Dawn to get your house back, and you're the one that gets it if it happens, as long as you're there, as long as you're present and liked, then they'll give it to you, right? Rather than just restoring it to the proper person.
I don't know who thought who how could that plan ever work? I'm just relieved it wasn't Mary's potential husband from season 1. Yeah, so I think so that's what the rest of her day is basically like, trying to establish herself here, and then whomst is the boy in the black one. I mean, obviously she can't go up to the prince and be like, hey boo. So she's kind of like biding her time for the moment here in court.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. All right. Well, let's go and head further into Westeros. Head back to Highgarden. Enzo.
Hi. What's up?
So you're setting something up.
Yes.
So where do you want this to take place?
Okay.
And do you want to go into a bit of detail about how you want things set up?
Okay, so it all depends kind of what Faye wanted to do soon after the meeting with Samwell.
Mhm.
So we're riding back to Highgarden, and Simon goes off and does Simon-y things. And
Lurking.
yeah, lurking
Yeah.
somewhere in a bush or something. And essentially he's going to gauge kind of like what Faye's mood is, kind of like what she fancies at the moment, like whether or not she wants to go straight to Leo or leave it until the morning, or
I think it would depend on what time of night they got back.
well, it was getting dark
Mm,
at the thing, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
getting dusk until then. So my guess is we got back probably just when the sun set completely,
yeah.
and it is night now.
Yeah. And she wouldn't wake him with good news. That's just rude. You wake
Okay.
somebody with bad news, you let them sleep with good news. So she'd want to go and see him as soon as possible, but it's not an urgent anything.
Okay. In that case, kind of like Enzo, they get off the horse, and he offers to go for a walk around Highgarden and help clear the head, and to kind of process what's just happened and stuff like that. If she accepts, of course. If she doesn't accept, that's perfectly fine.
No, she
Entirely
definitely
up to
would.
you.
Yeah.
Okay. And kind of like little things here is Enzo's kind of subtly leading you somewhere. As people tend to walk side by side, and then someone goes one way, and you go, oh, okay, we'll stay with it. And you go that way, and it's like a sub kind of like leading you. And essentially, they end up by the river. And by this river, it's all kind of like it's quiet. There are kind of like just the odd lantern here and there, and on the river you see a kind of like a river barge by you, very similar to the river barges that you'd get at Golden Grove, coming stock coming up and down and stuff. And on the river barge, you'll see kind of like a big kind of like keg, a big barrel, like one of those large ones. And on it, you'll see like a single candle. You'll see two kind of like wooden plates and some cutlery. And he will once you realize, he'll go, well, I thought that after such a troublesome day that a nice quiet dinner would do you well. And he's going to kind of like go forward a little bit and kind of like happily jump onto the barge. He's going to take off his hat. He's going to take off his kind of like Buccaneers thing and put them down to one side. So all he's got is kind of like piratey loose blouse on. And he kind of goes, barges tend to have kind of like a down area, right? It does tend to have like where the stock goes, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to clarify if this was the barge with the guy that you'd spoken to few sessions ago.
We can, yeah,
Is this?
absolutely. It could
Well,
be
no,
that
no, no.
time.
Do you want one of the little pleasure barges, one of the little, we're gonna
No, no.
we're gonna punt down the river kind of type for nobles, or is this literally
This is
we ferry stuff around?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
specifically a working barge that has come from Golden Grove. Absolutely.
Okay, I think
of those.
maybe Faye would kind of recognise it at least in the sense of seeing very similar barges before.
And he's just about to go in, and he kind of looks back before he goes down and goes, well, make yourself comfortable. I'll be right back. And he'll head down into the barge.
She just kind of stands there gaping at it, like looking at the candle and the barge itself and recognizing it, and just as he vanishes, this sort of sideways head tilt. What on earth is this?
Then after a while, not too long, maybe like a minute, he's going to come up, and he's going to have kind of like this, there's this plate, and there's something covering it, and if you haven't still got on, he's going to turn and go, well, are you going to get on? I don't think I'll be able to eat this all myself. And he kind of places it kind of like in the middle of basically the barrel, and he places it on top of the barrel as a kind of makeshift table. And from his back, he's got two kind of goblets. So he just puts one on one side and the other. And he takes off the kind of thing, and in it, it's got like,
I've got you, boo. I've got my food description if you want. Yeah.
I had an idea, but you could go for it.
Oh man, do it.
Oh no, it was just going to be like kind of like a Golden Grove. I'm going to assume they have trout or something, but a fish, because it is like a place on a river, so I imagine fish is quite staple in their diet. So it's going to be one of those. But it's going to be kind of like stuffed with, like an apple and local herbs and stuff inside the thing, with like potatoes along the outside of it.
I tried to do my best wanky menu writing for you.
Oh shit! Shit!
I've got you guys You guys asked for better food descriptions this season, so I put a little bit of effort in.
A rose made of potato.
If you've got something better, go for it, because this could be like the main.
Should we do M&S?
Go on, let's do M&S. Let's do M&S.
This is not just a thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mussels from the Shield Islands, steamed in a mellow arbor gold wine sauce, accompanied by a salad of sweetgrass and figs, topped by a rose petal garnish. Next to that, a rustic but rich apple tart with a centre so hot it scalds the tongue. Its tart finish sweetened off with apricot fruits and a hint of spice and clove. Quaffed down with a sharp and fruity, sparkling Golden Grove cider, a clear yellow in ornate glass goblets. There you go.
That's the cider that I got from the first episode, where I got the two flat and I just kind of put them in. And so he's kind of, he puts that down there, and he kind of just stands next to the barrel waiting.
And she's looking almost like you've slapped her or something, just not quite computing what's happened here.
Have I done something wrong? Is the food not right?
No, I'm sure it's lovely. And sort of hops on and over and just looks down at this food. Just, should I sit?
Of course, sit. And he'll kind of go around the other side and kind of sit down opposite you. And he'll, please help yourself.
Where did all of this come? I mean, I know where the barge has come from, but you didn't kill anyone for it, did you?
No. I just talked to someone, and you know how convincing that can be. I talked to the barge owner. He allowed us for a modest fee to, I suppose, rent out the barge for the night. I also talked to the cooks down in the thing to make something specifically that might be attended Golden Grove. I wanted to give you another taste of home. I know you've been missing it lately, so I decided to put this for you, and the cider, because well, it's good cider. And
Good.
my apologies. It is the nectar of the gods.
Thank you. I raise the little glass in toast.
And you'll do the same.
To talking.
Was something that I enjoy doing very much. And you'll do like a little ting and take a little sip, and you'll put it down. He goes, now I'm not entirely sure how good the cook is compared to the cooks at Golden Grove, but let us hope that they are equally as good. Start.
I'm sure it's perfect.
Well, I figured after what you had to do, something pleasant and reminding you of home would be a good thing to do afterwards.
After what I had to do?
Today, talk to Samuel.
Oh. And she'll look deeply awkward at that and grab a fig and bite into it. What's your home like? Your homeland, I mean.
Bravos. It is grubby, dirty, but also wonderful. It is a city that is on the water. Jetties, a maze of jetties snake around the waterside. And there is a constant taste of salt and sea air always. The Bravos are sea people. They born on the sea, they grow up on the sea, and most of them die on the sea. It is, well, it was home. Not so much anymore.
No?
No. My home is the Sapphire. Once I get her back.
She looks like she's about to ask another question about it and thinks better of it.
One day I will go back to her. But until that day, why not enjoy what Westeros have to offer, no?
Well, apparently the ships aren't quite as grand.
Well, there are some quite decent vessels, but I quite like this. This is the barge. It is functional, and I quite like that. Westeros, I mean, they do like their pageantry, but something sturdy to do the job is always good.
Always form, no function with this lot. And she'll take another sip of the cider and just kind of stroke the side of the boat. It's almost like she's like stroking a dog or a horse or something, just getting that feel of something familiar.
Have you been on many of these?
Well, that'd be telling, wouldn't it? A lady couldn't possibly be on a vessel like these, could?
Well, I don't know what ladies do at Golden Grove.
A good deal more dancing than they do here.
Oh, well, that is good to know. Certainly hope one day to visit and see how good they dance.
Oh, don't expect what I think maybe you're used to. It's a little more rambunctious.
You have got my interest.
I'm sure I have.
I do. Are you planning on going back soon? I mean, of course, you have your duties in Highgarden, but you're not stuck to it, are you?
I would like to. It seems that I'm needed here a little more than I anticipated. Yes, I do hope that I'll be able to go back at some point soon, if only to make sure they haven't burnt the place down or drunk everything.
Is either likely?
Depends on the week. Depends on the festival.
Yes, I have heard of these festivals that Golden Grove has. Are they often?
Yes. Well, you have to celebrate when you work hard. And picking apples, making cider. It might not seem like hard work compared to going to war, but it takes a long while. And people like to celebrate their successes.
Well, in my opinion, it is a lot more useful to the kingdom than going to war.
Absolutely. And it's tradition.
Oh,
Lots of places have their traditions, but it's nice to have one of the more pleasant ones rather than some of the ones you hear around this place.
I don't know. Yes, you're right. The Westeros do like their traditions. There's a Greenmont one, and I don't know. They like their tree. I wasn't particularly fond of it myself, but that seemed to be part of their tradition.
Tree.
Yes, a weirwood tree in the heart of the castle.
Huh.
I know Lady Marzia was very fond of it. Buried. Sir Oliver, I believe, is buried there alongside their father. Well, I would say her ex-husband, I should say. Seems an important place for them.
Trees often are. There's something about that. Taking something from the earth, making it into something new. Using that to replenish your people, and round we go.
It is a miracle of nature.
It's a miracle of mankind as well. That's how my house got its name. A woman making a tree happen.
And look.
Hmm?
Oh no, I was just going to say, look at you here, a woman making peace happen.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Well, you did something that a group of lords could not do in a month. You did in one day.
And you're surprised.
Honestly, I'm never surprised by anything in the gods.
Mm.
But it is good to know that at least one competent person is stuck in.
Well, we shall see. The problem with somebody who's easily convinced of things is they can just as easily be convinced the other way. So
That
I think
is
we'll
true.
let Samuel's actions speak rather than his words.
Well, let us hope his host disperses in the morning and we'll be able to deliver the good news to Lord Highgarden.
Yes.
You should be happy. This is a good thing you've done.
No, I know. There are a lot of things to ask about, to discuss, and you solve one problem in this puzzle and there are 1,000 others come tumbling down on your head and you have to deal with those ones.
I feel politics is an impossible puzzle. It just keeps getting bigger.
That I would certainly agree with you about, but what choice do we have?
Well, you are a lady of the house, in charge of a house. You could just stay in Golden Grove and live happy.
No, I couldn't.
Who would tell you to do otherwise?
You know perfectly well who. A lady in charge of a house, no children, no heirs.
Ah, yes.
Sooner or later, there's a responsibility that comes with that, and I cannot just hope that the world outside of Golden Grove sorts itself out. I can't go through life like Samuel Tarly.
No. But I guess the kingdom is thankful that you are in a place of power.
Again, I suppose it depends who you ask. imagine there are a fair number of people who don't enjoy my presence, but
True. But I imagine they are just as incompetent as the rest.
or maybe just old-fashioned.
Ah, yes, old-fashioned. Tradition. That is very, very Westerosi.
There are good traditions and bad traditions, and you can't blame them, I suppose. Being stuck in the ways. You're taught that something's the way to do it since you were born. If you want to change their minds, you've just got to find a way of convincing them to broaden their minds a little, and that's where the difficulty lies.
And how would you change? How would you change Westeros?
In the marriage bed, not on the battlefield.
That is a very... I honestly wasn't expecting that.
People fight for what they love far more readily and eagerly than they'll fight for something they hate.
So you would marry Samuel to who?
Oh, I didn't mean just him.
Oh, no, but as a starting point, he's the one currently causing the most trouble.
Yes, but that option is quite clearly off the table. I recognize stupid young love when I see it, and those two.
You know, a part of me kind of admires them for what they are striving to do. I mean, it's obvious that they are both very much in love, and they know that it cannot work. Just cannot. And yet they strive to keep going for it. Is that stupidity? Possibly. But it's also admirable that they would go so forward into an impossible situation due to that slim chance that they could be happy.
I think it's more stupid to see it as an impossible situation. Whatever gave you that idea?
Well, she is already married, no? And are you suggesting that they would, what's his name? Alistair would be willing to have a divorce with Mara?
Everybody's willing to do something. You just have to put something in front of them they want more. That's politics. And she'll take another bite of the fig. It's all bargaining chips. All of it. Somebody gets angry about one thing, you find something that they're more angry about, or something that they want enough so that they don't care quite so much.
So it's like bargaining.
It's exactly like bargaining. Well, the way I do it anyway. So Samuel is off the table. That in itself angers people. So we find something that they want more, or he pays whatever price, which is another conversation. But it seems that nobody else is really thinking like this. So if I can spare some bloodshed by having some awkward conversations.
As you said, I guess they are stuck in their old ways. Why have a conversation when you can let a sword do the talking for you?
Well, maybe it seems easier.
To them, I imagine so. To the poor bastards that get killed by it, I don't think so.
And she'll just look down at her plate and just push some stuff around at that. What do you want? All this, what is this?
With this dinner?
A bargaining chip.
I assure you, I want nothing. It was just to have a nice evening. That is all. I thought that perhaps you could do with one.
Oh, so this is for me now.
Oh, and me. I never do anything just for someone else. I'm going to benefit somehow,
Hmm.
even if it is for a lovely meal and in delightful company.
I almost wish I could be more like that. Wasn't really raised to think along those lines.
Well, when you were raised like I was raised, you tend to grasp what good you can. People like me, we don't live to old ages.
How are you? I mean, if you don't mind me asking. Raised.
You know, it's funny. No one's ever asked me that before. People always want to know, like, the stories of that I have done on the high seas, what bounty I've had, where I've seen what I've done. No one cares where I came from, just what I've done. He kind of plays with the food and visibly very kind of awkward.
Mm.
And he kind of like leans in slightly. I don't think I've really told many people this. I was raised by my mother and father, mainly my mother. My mother died when I was 6, 7 years old. My father, well, he was a delightful gentleman. Gambling problems, alcohol, you name it. He wanted to do it. Until one day, he owed too much money to a certain person. You know what he did to pay it off? He sold me off into slavery. So, for the next 5, 6, 7 years, I was a slave, working here and there, doing whatever. Until one day, we were on a ship and we were attacked. Well, the pirates, they did not like the fact that they fought back. So they made an example of everyone. Apart from me, I still don't know why. Maybe my good looks were coming through then. I don't know. So they took
modest.
well, so they took me on board. And that is where I learned the trade of a pirate. At the tender age of 11, 12, something like that.
It's
Well,
very young to grow up.
well, you kind of have to. When you have nothing, every day you are just fighting to live to the next day. That is where Samuel was wrong. When he said that the people, they want justice and stuff like that, that's bullshit. All the common folk want is a meal to take them to the next day. That is it. Take it from me, a member of the common folk.
You don't have to tell me that. Not that you're, no.
It's fine. It is okay. I know where I come from.
But you don't know where I come from. And it's just different. It's different.
Of course. It is a big world. There are so many different things, different cultures, different peoples. I hold it not against. I don't hold it against anyone whether they had a rich upbringing, where they lived in a big castle and they had everything provided for them. Well done to them. I'm not like that. I'm not going to hold it against them. It's not their fault that they grew up in such a location.
Oh, that's different though, isn't it? It's not well done. It doesn't take any skill to be born into a family. Keeping it,
well,
that's the trick.
It does seem to be quite a lot harder than I thought. until I came here.
Still, I think you'd like Golden Grove, I think. There's a lot less of a divide, I suppose.
It would be very nice to visit a place where everyone is just there to enjoy life, have fun, and there isn't someone trying to stick a knife in your back.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
It would be delightful.
Just for a week, even.
Even on the Sapphire. Even on the Sapphire, I had to watch one of them stick a knife. Bianca, my first officer, she kept the crew under a tight leash. I did not do that. I'm not exactly one for discipline, but she was one of my closest friends. She kept everyone working.
But you had to watch your back for her?
Well, it was a mutual kind of thing. I would watch her back, she would watch mine. It worked. It was, for the longest time on the Sapphire, we had a wonderful family together. I suppose the closest thing that I had, that I remember to a family. I mean, there were some bad apples, and those bad apples took a long walk of a very short gangplank. But such things happen.
Accidents, terribly slippery, those decks,
it's terrible, particularly after such a roaring storm. I hope they are all doing well. I really do. I hope that most of them are still alive, so when I get the Sapphire running again, they can come back. Particularly Bianca. I think I need Bianca.
So when you do get your Sapphire back, what then? Off to adventure?
Well, I haven't thought of it that way. Maybe I will decide to just I've explored Westeros. Maybe I'll explore some more of the free cities. Maybe not too many free cities. They don't like me. Some. And maybe go to unknown parts of the world where no one has gone before. Who knows? I tend to live in the moment. The future is tomorrow. The past is behind me. Live in the moment.
What's that like?
It is full of surprises and can be very enjoyable and also very stressful.
If I'd lived in the moment, I'd be married to Samuel Tarly.
Yes, why didn't you marry him?
Because he made some unwise decisions. As did his father. It's difficult having to run Golden Grove alone. It's a lot of pressure for somebody very young, and so I have to be the biggest man in the room, even when I'm not. So I can't do anything to tarnish that reputation. It's complicated. But there are a lot of very old-fashioned people at court, and some of them, the second a woman gains any power, cannot wait to tear it from her by any means necessary, as I'm sure your friend Marzia understands. A woman in charge of a house.
Only too well.
Clearly a witch. Clearly.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've never seen any witchcraft from her.
It's just such an easy thing to throw at a woman the second she knows what she's doing. And I'm terrified of it, if I'm honest.
What are you terrified of them throwing at you?
I don't know. If I knew, I could head it off, stop it from happening, but they don't care. They will find something eventually. So in the meantime, I just have to make the right friends.
That must be awful that every decision you make is scrutinized to the fullest degree. The slightest mistake that they will blow up. just to push forward the point that you shouldn't be there.
You surprised me. I thought you talked to lots of women.
I do. But when I talk to them, it is not normally about politics.
Oh, I wasn't talking about politics. I was talking about being alive.
So, how many of them have already tried to push your son on you?
More than you'd think. I mean, most of them, all credit to them, waited at least a month after I called off the engagement. But...
Oh, well, that is very noble of them.
Oh, really? They all want something, and it's not something I'm able to give them.
I don't know what is that.
My father was supposed to come back from Blackfyre, and they all were, I suppose, but Golden Grove is a very special place. And my father was always of the opinion that only a Rowan would understand and love it the way it needs to keep it. It's hard to explain, but that was the last thing he said to me before he left. And I'm the only one now. Sorry. So I can't marry. Not the way the lords that are approaching me want, so...
I see.
They're just after a prize. They want to be lord of something, lord of more. That's all they ever want, isn't it?
What do they say about the nobles? Marriage isn't for love, it's for power, politics.
I'd agree. But that's only so far I am willing to sacrifice everything. I've sacrificed everything else. That is my one choice. They don't get that.
I am very glad. And he's going to kind of like, he's probably been eating the fish. And he's going to go over to the tart now and kind of just start nibbling on it. So, what do you think of, compared to Golden Grove cooks, what do you think?
Well, given the fact that apparently you're sleeping in a bunk,
Don't remind me.
I think you've done exceptionally well.
It is essentially...
It's all edible.
It is essentially a cupboard with a table in, and I sleep on the table. It is terrible. It's
Did
awful.
they not? Why?
I don't know. I guess as Lord Highgarden didn't think my stories of the high seas was worthy of an actual room.
Or perhaps he feared what would happen if he gave you a room somewhere a little more influential.
I would be worried too.
Is there a reason why Maid blushes every time your name's mentioned?
Who knows? You know what young maids are like. They blush at the sight of any man.
Roll deception.
Fuck! I'm not very good at deception.
This is going to be against Faye's passive awareness, which is your awareness rank, Millie, times 4.
Oh my god, no. It's not gonna work. 3. I'm just
No.
massive
mate.
grin on my face.
And so, Sal, you are a pirate after all. Lying to a lady. I'm so proud of you. I was starting to think that the rumors weren't true at all, but here we are.
Oh, every rumor is true. It's just...
Mm.
It's difficult to be a pirate all the time.
And what does that mean?
Well,
She'll take another sip of cider. Like she's clearly a little bit twinkly by this point.
well, I mean, when you are famous, like a famous knight, someone comes to the court and they have to share all these stories about, you know, how they fought this person in a duel, how they won this person on the battlefield. Well, the spectators expect to see a demonstration. You know, you'd get people come up to him every day saying, "I wish to challenge you to a duel to see if you are truly as fierce as the Ulumas say." It is somewhat similar to me. They concentrate more to stories and they expect me to act a certain way.
So you have suitors as well, except they all want to stab you. Is that what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't say they want to stab me. Some of them want to stab me. Some of them want to sleep with me.
Oh.
Some of them just want to be with me in the room. It gets tiring.
Sure. If you want me to leave, I can.
No, please stay. I cannot finish all of this. This is so much. Actually, would you... There is a favor I would beg of you, if you would not mind. It is not a big thing. It is not something you have to do, but if you would happen to learn of a lord or lady that would have a servant not of Westeros, would you mind telling me of that, please?
Do I know any off the top of my head, Sam?
Oh, just run that past me one more time. All of your conversation is just giving me more inspiration for more cool things. So I've just been going off on one. Tom, what was your question?
Basically, if there were any servants that weren't from Westeros, you know, for lords and ladies in Highgarden that she knows.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
I would. Oh, sorry. Go for it.
I can imagine it's not something that I've considered, to be honest. So I guess I've given the game away that there's not like a plot point around it, but there would absolutely be some servants from or even visiting courtiers from beyond Westeros. Some from the Summer Isles, some from across the Narrow Sea.
Okay.
I say the Summer Isles and that because coming up to the southern coast of Westeros, Old Town is a port town as well as it is the seat of the faith, and so it takes a huge number of like ships and cargo and stuff, and that's where most of the imports for the southern kingdoms would come from.
I should. All right. I'll narrow it down and tell a Bravo C. So like accents similar to mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, for the sake of it, let's roll. Why not? Millie, why don't you roll for me a cunning check with any memory bonus dice you might have in it?
Mm-mm.
This isn't too hard. It'd be like difficulty 6. Yeah, easy peasy.
Hell.
There aren't any currently. No. If you had any other leading questions for me, any other like bits of kind of information that you wanted based on that, it's there's a couple of degrees in there, so for sure I'll give you a question.
The information I would give her was just a Bravo C servant, and that's it. If you could,
So she'd tell you straight out that there wasn't anybody at present, but that she keep her eyes open.
Oh.
And then just sort of look at you over the top of the glass of cider. Who are you looking for?
Oh, an old acquaintance for a long, long time ago. I heard a rumor that they were in Westeros. I wanted to see if I could find them. That is all.
Is this the kind of acquaintance that would require somebody to watch your back?
No, not at all.
Good.
But thank you. I do appreciate it.
I never offered. Such assumptions.
My apologies. I withdraw the assumption. And he'll take another sip of the cider. You know, this cider is really, really good. I'll make sure that I can still stand. And he'll get up and kind of just walk the barge for a little bit.
Hold that
kind of
thought.
Oh,
Because
God.
You fall overboard and drown.
Hey, you all know alcohol was a poison. Come on now.
Oh no.
God. I didn't take that much.
I'm, tweaking it a little bit, but now these rules are under under something weird, aren't they? There we go. Yeah, under the equipment bit. Okay. Virulence is the attack dice. Okay, cool. Now I know how that works. Okay. Okay. Really? Heck it. Let's roll 3 dice.
I don't like the sound on that.
So I need you to compare that 11 result with your passive endurance, which is your endurance rank times 4. It's the little number on your sheets.
Okay. It doesn't beat it.
Okay, then you're all right. You're maybe tipsy, but you're all right.
Okay, good.
You're not pished.
Oh, that's fairly good. He'll
I'm fine too, by the way.
Cool.
Oh, good. And he'll kind of walk the barge, just getting his foot in, as it gently kind of sways a little on the water, and he will turn and there is one thing that I was wondering if you could possibly do for me as well. Just one thing, just a tiny little thing.
She'll stand and sort of approach ever so slightly, not right next to him.
And he will kind of raise his hand up really high and then bring it low into a very low bow. And as he does that, from inside, you can hear kind of some music slowly start to kick up. And fingers crossed, it's music that hopefully one of the festivals at Golden Grove will think, like a cheery, chatty, like a really cheerful kind of thing. It's a bit muffled because they're inside, but there are plenty of windows, so it's not quite perfectly perfect. I was wondering if you could possibly show me one of your Golden Grove dances at the festivals. I do not know them myself, so you will have to lead if you don't mind.
And you can see her eyes have gone just really almost tearful, sparkly. I'm not really properly attired, but Gods be damned. And just kicks her shoes off. Where are you keeping them? Where are they? Aren't they allowed out?
A pilot must have his secrets.
Thought you were a man of the small folk. My goodness. And I'll poke my head down there to see if they're all right.
Yeah. They're probably playing a tune that's about Rowan Goldtree.
Oh, God.
like the mythical origin of
That's a
a
sad
house.
song, Sam.
No, like a jolly one.
The jolly version of it.
Oh, okay, the good bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sad. But apples, yay.
Yeah.
We're in the apples, yay bit.
It's more.
Okay,
It's totally
cool.
more about the tree than a heartbreak. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. She's just kind of barefoot on the deck, like hoik her skirts up a little bit, and it's almost kind of like a little bit Celtic jig like.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of bouncing and skipping and linking of arms.
Okay, cool.
It's not neat. It's not precise in any way, but it is a lot of fun, and it's the kind of thing you can definitely dance when you're tipsy.
Brilliant. It's like a double win there, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Enzo will kind of like study how she dances it just a thing off, and then slowly but surely try and learn and dance until the music stops.
Nice. All right. I think that's a lovely place to end it. Let's head back to Myria then. So in the next few days, is there anything that you want to set up or anything you want to do?
Yeah, it's really stupid, but Myria wants to have a quiet talk with Nikos.
Cool.
So I think to set this up with like they head out to somewhere quiet and secluded where they know they're not going to be overheard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the guys of like, oh, we're just gonna like sightsee or like hike or something. You know, that's like, I don't know what people do to go outside. I haven't been outside in over a year. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some crazy towers in Sunspear.
Stargaze or some shit, you know. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. Well, Sunspear itself is this. Has got those winding walls, the 3 walls that kind of break the city up into these kind of ever increasing circles. It's full of narrow alleys, hidden courts, different little noisy bazaars, and wine sinks and everything. So within that kind of older, or within beyond the threefold gate, in the kind of shanty that's around the town, you can certainly find a place that's shady and quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like because it's got like crazy towers of Sunspear, right? We're gonna go look at them from outside. I don't know.
Yeah, so you're in the Shadow City, basically. It's this kind of strange, dusty town outside. Spreads westward out from the threefold gate. It's full of kind of mud brick shops, windowless hovels, stables, inns, wineskins, pillow houses, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Might hit up one of them after, but we'll see.
That's fair. So yeah, you find yourself hidden in amongst the alleyways of this Shadow City, and out on the outskirts, so that there's very few people around. There's probably an old guy sleeping in the mid-afternoon sun under a kind of a like a tent thing, or and next to a wheelbarrow with some stuff in it, snoozing away just down there next to a very hot and bothered mule. There's no one else around.
Okay, yeah, and I think this has been under the guise of, and actually just like spending some time together, getting used to the city, just having a wander around. And I think after a while, Myria's sort of conversation grows quieter than it has been, and she as they're walking, she says, "So Prince Maron Martell is on his way to Sunspear."
Yes.
Oh God, Nikos, I want to tell you something.
Okay.
And God's damn me or not, I'm putting a lot of trust into you.
Have you done something? Yeah.
Well, first of all, what if I told you that my name was not Calla?
A lot of people go by a lot of names.
And then she says, and then what if I told you that I was not born and raised in Dawn?
Okay.
And then what if I told you that I'm here? And then she stops and thinks for a moment before she looks at him, and she takes a deep breath and says, and what if I was here to kill Prince Myron Martell?
He stares at you for a second and then just starts laughing. And like the old guy down the street, down the alley, kind of stirs a little bit. It's like, as he just like guffaws at you.
I'm being deadly. And Miri's just like looking at him, like laughing was not the reaction she expected. Is there something funny about what I just said?
He like looks you up and down and he says, "You
Me.
are going to..." And he starts just laughing loudly again.
I honestly don't know whether to be relieved or offended. You know, I fought in the tournament in the Reach, right? The very recent tournament. I was in the Grand Melee. I was one of the last contestants.
Yeah, and this is slowly starting to drop a little bit and to kind of sink in a little bit.
You see this? This was a great sword.
You know, he pulls down his doublet a bit, his shirt a bit, to a scar that you've already seen before, you know. And he says, "This was an Ironborn axe, but what?"
I mean, we could stand here all day and compare scars. You've no doubt got more than I do.
We could. You know, he gives you that kind of look, like, yeah, we could.
She gives him like the look up and down, like, mm-hmm. No. My name is Myria.
Sand?
That bit's complicated. Legally, I am of House Greenmont. Pressing that button, Tom. Yeah. Whether I'm a sand or a flowers, it depends entirely on whether certain things come to light or not. The silence is killing me. Sam, what are you doing?
Rolling to see if he knows what you're talking about.
Okay.
The Greenmont, they're by the Red Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
This is clever. You, if I go and tell the Martells, they probably won't believe me. They probably won't care. If I go tell the Lord of Whispers, if I go tell Lord Trystane Sand, he will probably not believe me either. And so what? Going to jump him in the night.
Well, I don't know yet.
And you do this because you hate him? Or because you do it for someone?
Well, You remember when we first arrived here and I said that I had once met the Prince of Dawn when I was a girl?
Oh. Okay.
My father had taken me. There's a whole story here, which I can tell you at some point if you want to know, but he had taken me to his home for protection after a series of rather unfortunate events. And after a little while there, the Prince of Dawn brought his lovely wife, and they visited this keep. Series of events unfurled in which I found myself within the dungeons of said keep, to then find myself brought to the prince's personal boat, where he made me watch as he fired his siege weaponry upon the keep in some display of force, domination. And then he took me by the throat and threw me overboard in an attempt to kill me. All because of who my father was.
Yeah. Well.
So we have a bit of a history, the two of us. Though thankfully the Princess Daenerys didn't seem to recognize me the other day when we were brought before her and the rest of the court. I suppose many years have passed and I was an insignificant girl to her then.
It's a whole new different mood from him now. He's kind of like taking this in, listening to what you got to say. I'd love you to roll, actually.
Okay.
I couldn't persuade to convince him of this.
Convince?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fucking buck wild story. I wouldn't blame him if he was as dubious, if he was skeptical.
No, it's going to be It's going to be pretty simple, to be fair. This is a simple intrigue, and it's just against his intrigue defense. But I am going to give it a -5 for the kind of just all of the information dump, all of the kind of craziness from his perspective, at least.
Okay. I'm going to use my friend up here in the...
Oh, yeah.
The boxy thingamajig.
You've got a keep dice too. Wow.
I do. Oh, that was the wrong button. All right. 18. So -5 would be 13.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, you convinced him of this. Why tell me?
I don't know. For some reason, I feel like I can trust you. We've gotten to know each other as we've been part of the Queen's camp. I becoming to feel fondly for you. I feel like that, I don't know, there's something about you.
And he looks over your right shoulder, and his face kind of drops, but he manages to mutter, "I think your time has come."
Oh shit! I'm gonna just turn around.
And just beyond the alleyway, because you're on the edge of the Shadow City, you can see that beyond, down kind of to the southerly direction, down towards the river. Because obviously the Green Blood is this huge river where its end, where it meets the sea here. The Green Blood is like miles away from that. But there is the kind of estuary, this bay that's to the south of Sunspear, and it's where docks and stuff would be. Coming from that road is a huge procession of horses, of litters for nobles, for carriage of a few carriages that have come obviously from Sunspear in the way that they're in the Dornish style that you can see from them off in the distance. Yeah, and they're heading towards the city.
Myria's face does drop a minute because there's the difference between imagining something and then being faced with it is happening. He is here. It's gonna happen. And she gets that knot in her stomach that she's on this course now. She's told someone else about it and she's doing it. But I think she reaches behind her and takes Nikos's hand. Let's go see. Let's go see. And she tries to sound confident, but there's like that little waver, She's like, yeah, I've got my shit sorted. It's fine.
Yeah, and you rush forward through what is now starting to be the crowds, and it's basically the same kind of procession through the Shadow City that you would have taken following the Queen, and this takes them up through the threefold gates. But just before that, you manage to just get in with the crowd, just to get a look of the procession itself. And towards the head of that procession, absolutely, riding out with some outriders either side of him, protecting him, you see Prince Maron. A little greyer. Maybe the crow's feet have embedded themselves a little bit more in his eyes, but definitely. And he's sporting a bit of a different beard too. We've got season 5 beard going on. And this is absolutely, definitely your mark. A carriage or like a litter follows him. And there's, that kind of lattice work with a curtain in the middle there that you can't quite see inside. To see, who he might be bringing. And then you see, following that, a procession of black and red banners with the red Targaryen dragon on. And there is a litter in there too. This one with a single banner riding towards the back, a standard of a fairly young-looking kind of Targaryen knight, still wearing like the Targaryen, like the red helm that's been forged into the three dragons, with the black armor and the red trim. But he is carrying a flag of a black field with a white dragon on it, and its red eye is firing red fire at its tail.
Oh shit!
And then they are followed by a procession of carriage followers, camp followers, some, and then it starts to be like some of the sailors too who have come up to enjoy the wine sinks and stuff like that.
Is fuckboy McGee with them?
Corgyle or like Fuckboy McGee? Ironwood.
Horatio, come on, Ironwood. Yeah, where the fuck is Ironwood?
No. So I would think Corgyle actually follows the middle procession as well. So you've got the red rooster, isn't it, Corgyle?
Yeah. Okay, I'm at least free of that fuckery for the time being. That's good. Yeah. So I want to obviously scope out who is with the prince right now.
Oh god, I keep forgetting the Kingsguard. I've got to Google who the Kingsguard are at the moment.
Oh, the Kingsguard, yeah.
Shit. There would have been a Kingsguard too with the Queen, right? I keep forgetting that as well. I need to portion them out really. King Do is not going to work, Sam. Kingsguard. Thankfully, the wiki breaks it down in terms of kings that they served, so I can find Daeron II. I can't remember. I'm gonna mess it up. I'm positive because they'll probably said a different one with the Queen when there was. But Who's cool? Gwen
None of
Corbray,
them.
I guess. All right, yeah. So Gwen Corbray, who served in the first Blackfyre Rebellion as well on the Battle of the Redgrass Field. You can see his belt. He wields a Valyrian steel sword, Lady Forlorn. And he is accompanying the hand of the king up the streets. He is one of the outriders at the head of this procession.
Just felt all of his Force ghosts appear and tell me I need that sword. Get it, acquire it.
Yep. Yes. So Gawain Corbray, a Vale man apparently, of the Vale. Sure.
Boring then.
Thanks, Wiki. Yeah. Very knightly, very boring.
Very knightly, very boring. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, so you know, you're gonna do that thing where she's watching the crowd pass, and then she's like, "All right, we gotta make our way up there. Sands are allowed at court now. Let's go get the fancy clothes on."
Yeah.
And she switches back to using her Dornish accent.
Oh, of course. I wasn't gonna insinuate that you weren't or penalise you for that or anything. That's all well and good. I would like you, please, to make me a status reputation test to see how integrated you can get into court.
I should have saved that bonus dice.
Because it's going to affect the kind of degree of information I'll give you. This will either be you peering into windows from a distance, or you actually being in court now that the hand of the king and the Prince of Dawn has actually returned to court.
Okay, here goes. 7. Thanks, Roll20. 2 ones.
Okay. So there is a flood of people trying to get into that court. What I would say is that you wind up with a lot of the lesser courtiers and some Dornish knights and some of the Sands as well that have been following the Queen in that lavish courtyard with all the raised beds and the plants that you found yourself in earlier. So with Nikos leaned up against one of the palms as he's kind of looking into the big doors that are open out into the court, you can just see and make a few of the figures that are inside. You can hear just about as people fall quiet, Marin Martell, essentially thanking everyone for welcoming him back. That he is so happy to see his dear sister here as well, and the Queen is stood on the dais with him, probably sat at this point, probably honestly, with a little hanky that she occasionally coughs into. And then off to one side, his left-hand side, you see stood towards the back of the dais a figure that dressed mostly in black robes and crimsons. The flash of white Targaryen hair straight down around his shoulders. And the real noticeable part of his appearance that essentially gives him away, that you just about see through some of the lighting coming down through the windows of the courtroom, is that wine-coloured birthmark running down his red side and onto his neck in the rough shape of a raven. And the blood raven is here in Sunspear. And no one knows why.
Tom, you're right. It is GG already. I'm just going to put my GGs in now. Just going to scoop and go home. My mono black deck has got nothing. Fucking. Oh boy. And I think Myria shoots Nikos this look like, why the fuck is he here?
Yeah, there are whispers around the whole courtyard.
Mhm.
Ones that the Bloodraven can probably hear. He turns to you, and just because I want to say it again, he says, "How many eyes does the Bloodraven have?"
You know, someone once asked me that when I was a small girl, and she ended up dead. So
I'm sorry for her.
me too. And then like a really cold shiver just runs down Myria's spine. But then she's like, okay, business mode. What?
Yeah, balls in your court.
What? Yeah, and I want to like, I want to try and like get forward so I can hear more and see more, you know. Just gonna try and like snake my way through people or like, you know.
Give me a sneak blend in roll,
Fuck.
please. 1 secondo. 1 secondo. Let's see who I should rate this against.
God.
Sure.
It's been
Yeah.
Bloodraven with his wall hacks. That's an 8.
Okay. There is a moment where wall hacks. There is you sneak through the crowd and you do that, you know, weaving in and out and dodging people, and you do what you can to stay away from the you know, real facing of the Targaryen guards or knights that are here protecting the royal family and the Hand of the King. There is a moment where you snake around to the right, try and get around to just like behind some of the chairs and the benches that are laid out amongst the right hand side of the courtroom. When Gawain Corbray is coming the other way to speak to a few of the Dornish guards that are here, the Martell guards that are here, actually, and to try and start to lock things down. You can hear his kind of booming voice as he strides down this kind of section of the courtroom. So you have to flip behind a pillar for just 2 seconds and look a bit nonchalant before he moves past you, and you can then duck in behind him and start moving further towards him. I would say you can get probably within about 20-25 feet of the dais. So, you know, you're within good visible range of the Bloodraven, the Queen, and her brother, Prince Martell.
Oh boy. I think she feels a weight of a dagger that's not in her hand, but she's like, he's in throwing distance. Right, I could right now. She obviously doesn't have one, but she really takes in a moment to look him over, right? To see him, to evaluate him. And like she sets it in her mind, like she sees him and she sees him that day. She sees the look on his face on the boat. She sees that smirk, that taunting smirk as he makes her watch the siege weaponry fire, and she feels that grasp around her neck that she did as a child, and it's set in her head. At that point she looks at him and it's like that focus on her face where she gets that determined expression. But then she gives a very worried glance over to Bloodraven, because she's heard the stories of Bloodraven. He commands magic, he can read your mind, he can see everything, and she wonders for a moment if he already knows why she is here, and that's why he is here. And so she kind of looks him, you know, trying to suss him out as she like gazes upon him.
He is speaking to Tristane Sand, but he is also speaking to Lord Davos. Oh, sorry, yeah, I don't think you know that guy. He's also speaking to. I'm not going to get the shields out again. Davos Illyrian, which is the Lord of Wells, and is also speaking to the Marshal with all those lemons on his tabard. I want you to roll for me awareness notice.
Awareness notice. Okay, hang on.
Try and get a real bead on the conversation that's being had.
16.
Oh, that's good. And the Blood Raven is asking about I need 7 of your best riders and sandsteeds, 3 apiece, so that we can ride through the night. I need to make towards the Tor as soon as you possibly can. And they start to kind of, they start to move away to adjutants and kind of get them to like ready stuff. And there's a bit of action seems to be happening, or there's just about, something to be happening. And once that he's kind of finished that conversation, you're just kind of ducking around somebody else as you're just trying to get a look on their mouth movements as well as what you can hear to try and put the whole picture together. He just does that thing where he just kind of starts to turn, and then just that one red eye just looks at you for just a moment.
And I think this is not an uncommon reaction that Blood Raven gets when he looks at people, right? Because of this fear. Myria's eyes widen for a moment and she's like, oh, fuck, he clocked me. Before she immediately tries to play off that, she's made accidental eye contact with someone who is better than her. So she lowers her eyes and nods her head at him as his gaze passes. But in her head, she's like, fuck.
I would like you to roll deception for me, please.
Okay, deception's good. I'm good at deception. Deception what? Bluff?
Bluff. This is totally bluff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, and then I add a 6 to this. 21.
Okay. It's good. That's very good. Yeah, you managed to kind of bluff that moment and then pull back so that he's no longer staring at you and you're no longer looking at him.
Good. Great. One question, Sam. Why are you ruining my life like this? What have I done to you? So after that sort of moment, Myria is again going to focus on Marin and see what's going on with him. Is he sort of like going back into, I'm holding court now, I'm here, we're all gonna have you can, whatever you've been holding off, you can come talk to me about? Or is he just like, right, I'm here, bye, and then pieces out to his own quarters? Like, that's what kind of situation do we have?
He essentially seems to be kind of at the service of his queen. So he's being attentive to her. He obviously knows her quite well, being her brother. And so, with her being here and her having travelled here in order to see him, also having, made a progress through Dawn to probably see, you probably dropped in on a few other houses, a few other places as well. But now that she's reached the end of her progress of Dawn at Sunspear here, he's making sure that she has what she needs. He's also looking quite caring of her, and she's looking a little peakier than when you left the Red Mountains.
Oh. Well.
So after a few minutes of some mingling, and after Prince Maron gets probably a bit of a lowdown from his small council members. It's just that thing of, okay, so while you're on holiday, this thing happened at work, but just so you know, but we'll talk about it later, all that kind of crap. Once he's had a bit of that, he and the Queen then head off. Myria head off to another courtyard that is a bit beyond. It's more looks like a kind of more of a private courtyard. Guards posted on the entrance way. It's probably more of a private, probably a family courtyard rather than a public one.
One last thing in this courtroom is Myria would like to catch Mayron's eye and just remind him that she exists. With a little, what's up, boo? As he's leaving, she gives him a very flirtatious curtsy. She's got a very nice pretty dress on, which may be enhancing some features that she may display for the young prince, just to keep her fresh in his mind.
Was the approach flirty here? What
yeah, it's flirty.
Do you want to make a seduction roll for him to just kind of be like be twig and be like, ooh.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. It'd be Myria's first ever seduction roll.
It's be a fun play too. Like you're getting to Maron through his son through this way. Like that could be cool.
That's an avenue which I am currently exploring.
Hang on, I need to look at his intrigue defense. I mean,
That
sure.
is a 22.
Sure. That's definitely going to win, obviously.
Go.
Let's go.
I got suddenly possessed by the spirit of Allegra Dorsey.
You did. Congrats. Seduce, you instill feelings of lust and affection in your target, improving their disposition by a number of steps equal to your rank in persuasion. Each day after the intrigue, the target's disposition lowers by 1 step until it is 1 below their starting disposition.
Oh, well, his disposition just went up by 4.
All right, that's quite meaty. I'm gonna maybe just say, like, you know, he twigs. He gets the interest. He gets it.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right.
Yeah. So that was, that's the because that's an avenue. Because she's not going to be able to sneak in there because her stealth is 2, and she's already been caught sneaking around in the palace. So that's not going to work again.
Sure. Yeah.
And Myria knows she's a social creature, so it makes more sense. And I think she figured out that she would be a fool not to waste this opportunity.
Cool. All right. That's a good place. Good place, I think. But I would like to make sure that Millie, you've got some business to finish up if you need it. Need to talk to people. So Faye,
I wondered for a moment what you were talking about.
like,
He's got a name, Sam. No.
yeah, you've maybe got a couple of people to chat to in Highgarden.
Yeah, I think come the next morning, she'd need to find. Ooh, what order would she do this in?
Yeah, and they're your scenes. How would you want to set them up?
It depends how, like, what situation Lord Leo would be available in. If it would be a very public thing, then she'd go and see Sir Gawain first. If it was more likely to be a private thing, she'd go and see Leo first.
I think you can absolutely have either way. I would say it's probably more likely that Lord Leo today is, you could get him in a private moment, either in his solar or as he's eating, or you could get him as he's practicing his archery for hunting, or you could get him in the training yard. You could get him at breakfast. You could get him in his office. Like whatever you want, really.
Yeah, let's do the archery thing. That seems fun.
So I can imagine that the archery side of things is actually where lords and ladies equally can practice or partake whilst hunting, which is obviously like a noble's favoured practice. So I just want it so that you could absolutely are doing it with him.
Yeah, go for it.
So we frame this that, you could approach Lord Leo, basically pick up a bow and a quiver, and as he's laying arrows into a deer-shaped straw dummy, that you pick up the bow too and start firing as well.
I think she'd let him fire for a little bit, just to, because this is not really her skill set.
Okay. Sure.
And it is business, but she'll just sort of be eyeing up the bows, like, okay, what's my draw length? What can I use?
Yeah, absolutely. With him as a teenage squire, not quite a man grown, and you know this to be. I do have this, and you know this to be. Oh God, where is it? What's his name? Tremond Ironwood.
Ooh.
It's one of the lesser branch of Ironwoods, no pun intended. But you've got Lord Leo and his court there as well on the Roll20. And what I'll do, Susie, as well, is I will chuck up the Prince Maron Martell and his court handout as well. This is probably this is more of a guardianship than it is a genuine squire.
Yeah.
thingy going on.
Oh,
What
that's awkward. That's always awkward.
What with all the interplay and politics of marriages and stuff between Dorne and the rest of Westeros, because they're still fairly new. The fashion would be for you to go and get yourself a Dornish husband, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Some might look at it, because Lord Leo, was basically made to marry a Dornish lady.
Mm-hmm.
for the politics of the realm.
Yay. Okay, so she would just head straight out while he's busy firing and wait until he's not doing that, because that's unsafe, boys and girls. Can you tell I used to work on an archery range? It's very unsafe. Never distract. And wait until the squire's off running to fetch the arrows that he's shot.
Yeah. My lady.
My lord. How is the hunting this morning?
A little less lively than I like usually, but we have been recently deprived of a lot of our game.
True. And if you shoot too many moving targets around here, you never know who you're going to hit.
Anyway, before I daydream the day away with that, you have news for me?
I do. And perhaps it will bring a smile to your face. It is done. The host will be disbanded. The taxes will probably be paid. Samuel Tarley may well be working with you a little more closely in the future.
My lady. My most humble thanks. Have you broken your fast this morning?
Not yet. Stomach's growling.
Care for something? And he actually sets the bow down and kind of motions you in towards the keep.
Yes, that would be lovely. And motion for him to lead. And as he's doing it, just kind of turns around and just fires a quick, just to see if her eye's still in.
Oh, make me a marksmanship bow test.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah. No, it's very bad. I shoot the squire.
There's just a from like off camera. No, with a 6, you hit the target, but it's in the one of the outer rings of it. Yeah.
Oh, my head's still a little groggy.
But you head inside, and Lord Leo takes you up to private dining chamber just off of his solar. And the cooks rustle up anything you like. Bacon, some well done eggs, some blood sausage, all that kind of stuff. There's some small beer in the morning, as per usual, I guess.
She will just sip that, just enough for hair of the dog, not enough to send her over the edge again.
Yeah, and this will be like a couple of ABB, if that. Like, this is just basically brewed so it doesn't kill you.
She will be eating much more heartily than most ladies do, as Faye likes a breakfast.
But he asks you, what was his disposition, my lady?
Troubling. He seemed friendly enough, but there's clearly something weighing on his mind, and that in itself is difficult.
Was it more his father with this, or was...
I'm not sure. I should probably have a word with the gentleman at some point, but he says he wants peace. Quite whether he means that and all that it entails, I don't know, but I think he was earnest. I hope.
His words don't quite reflect his actions. is my problem.
It depends on your viewpoint, I suppose.
Mm.
But as I advised you before I left, sometimes a show of force must be made. And as difficult as it is, the largest army within a breath of Highgarden belongs to them. And if they are unhappy, and she looks down at her breakfast just very awkwardly. I hope you do not mind me speaking as plainly as I always have.
My lady, I speak my most plainly at breakfast, so please be my guest.
Cheers to that. Raises a sausage.
Pocket sausage. There it goes.
Always, from now on, always a sausage on her at all times, just in case of maize. In all truth, I think he may have a point. Not about all of it, but there is a pack of wild dogs roaming this land, and we have the duty to domesticate them. We've tried doing that with the rod, and it hasn't worked.
What then?
They're rebelling because perhaps they feel unheard. So we make them feel heard. A hound trained with beating only creates an animal that wants to bite. We've got enough angry old dogs in this kingdom as it is.
You make a very illuminating point, my lady. Perhaps so.
Peace can't just be for those who happened to be on the winning side, no?
No, of course. They intend to return back to Hornhill?
So they say. Well, that was the impression.
Perhaps we can catch them before they leave. Perhaps would entreat an audience with Sir Glendon. Perhaps speak to him, like you say, let him air his grievances if he has any.
I think that may be a good idea. We have an inn with the Tarleys, the other dogs, not so much, but if they see that those who put differences aside and have awkward conversations are rewarded, perhaps we stand a chance at quelling whatever that was.
We can but try. And maybe we show them something. Maybe we show them, dedicate something to them. A bit of a festival, or a bit of some games or something.
Festival?
I have an idea, perhaps, but I need to think on it more.
That would perhaps work in the short term. It feels like there's something a little deeper bubbling here. And you know my mind on all that is going on, but I don't feel it does us any good to exist in isolation where people simply echo our own opinions back at us.
And so?
Oh, that's a puzzle.
I am to, make a progress through the Reach?
I should hope not.
Speak to every lord and lady and landed knight in the realm?
You should lose your voice. No, But we do have a partially friendly hound who if we reward Tarly directly, they'll all want it. All those who, and it kind of fiddles with the breakfast again, like, doesn't like talking about Blackfyre at all. We cannot be seen to reward them directly, but there's a new generation now. And while I have no illusions that Samwell would be well suited to life at court or enjoy it, giving him some say or at least consultation on some matters. He has the ear of, from what I can tell, a lot of the people who are not currently represented. Might be a good way to hear their woes before they become a host again. But whether his word and his actions match is yet to be seen.
Very well. I should think on it some more.
Mm. And do keep me updated about that, what was it, party festival? I do enjoy those.
Of course. And you finish your breakfast, two of you, and he will retire to his solar to go over a few things with any small council members that have any business with him that day. Anything else you would like to do whilst you're here around court?
She definitely needs to talk to Sir Gawain because he kind of set her a task.
So Gawain is probably hovering again.
Oh, good.
Not as close as before, and obviously because he waited for all of you to leave that small council meeting before. But like he realizes or might have heard that you were eating with Lord Tarly, and so he's essentially waiting in that section of the keep and just down the corridor once you turn a corner.
Can I turn a corner and like full on bump into him? That feels very fair.
Yeah, fair.
Like, not dignified at all. Oh my lord.
My lady, I was waiting for you actually. I'd heard that you were having breakfast.
Yes. Yes, I was. How are you?
Well, thank you. And yourself?
Full of breakfast, so better than I was an hour ago.
Good. Might I ask whether you've been able to speak with Sir Samuel?
And I'll walk with him slowly. I did speak to him, yes. But I fear that you will not be getting the answer that you hoped for. Nor shall I. Though it does seem that your quarrel is rather with somebody other than you thought it was.
How so?
The Lady Mara does not wish to return.
I don't understand.
Have you ever been in love, Sir Gawain?
I think so, my lady. Yes.
Then you recognize that feeling, that out of control, making poor decisions feeling. Much as I hoped to not see what confirmed the rumors around court. I think I saw rather more than I was expecting. This is not a tryst. This is not childish lust. They love each other, I believe.
And even with his height, he kind of slumps, and you can see his body language and his posture start to sulk. Very well.
Alistair wouldn't want a wife who doesn't want him, would he?
From anything I'd ever heard, she was faithful. He loved her, and they were in love.
Time changes things. And you must admit, a lot has occurred since then, no?
But they don't change the words that she used to make that vow in front of gods and men.
Very few men are blessed with a wife who will stand by her vows no matter the cost and no matter what that husband does. She's a flighty thing. She's willful. And if I may be blunt, I believe she's an ill fit for a house such as yours, where reputation and good behavior is so prized. Having her back would surely cause more trouble than having her gone.
I'd love you to roll for me to
Good.
convince him of that fact. I think that's a good pivotal thing we're moving towards. What's this here?
So just a regular convince?
Yeah.
Okay. 90. Oh, no, more than that. Hang on. Loads.
What have you got?
What do you need?
Got all the benefits.
Okay, so opponents take 1d penalty on convince, and
It's
I
okay.
add +2 to convince tests.
Okay, so +2 to that.
Oh, and my persuasion tests ignore 1 DR of your disposition.
Okay, yeah. Just because we just did one roll, we just did like a really simple intrigue. I'm not going to worry about DR at the moment.
Okay.
But that would make it a 21 for sure. That is really very good. And so, yeah, while he is, sulky and slumped and kind of despondent by that, he accepts that, what you're saying is the truth, and that actually Mara is probably an ill fit.
I'll put my hand just on his arm and kind of really look genuinely sympathetic. I know that it stings. And this is not the way when people join hands that we hope it will end. But we must do what we can to maintain the peace. And on the positive side, if you want to see it, the Tarleys owe you a favor now.
Not sure I fully comprehend that, really, my lady, but thank you nonetheless. And he just kind of slowly, like a bit glazed over, starts to walk off.
Oh, he's so broken.
A bit kind of grumpy, and a bit like you can see one of his hands is in a fist by his side. Just a bit kind of like, as he walks off.
I'll let him go. But just be like, my little heart is breaking for him because his pride is so wounded.
probably just done a lot to help there, to be honest. It's a very small move, but it's probably done a lot of good. I think V owes you a favour.
Oh, good. I'm collecting them. See? Bargaining chips.
There you go, right? Exactly. Cool, all right. And I didn't want to miss you sending a letter home. You wanted to send a letter home, right?
Oh, it was basically just to make sure nothing is on fire. Everything's all right. How's this new? We had what was it, magistrate? How's he doing? Does he get it, or is he boring?
Yeah.
Like, I just want updates from home completely, because aside from anything else, that thing on the barge has just made me hollow inside, and I miss it. I miss everything about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you head up to the Maester's Tower, and the Highgarden Maester here, Godric, the old doddery fellow, invites you inside and shows you to the rookery, lets you write out a letter to then roll up and pop onto a raven there. We used to do this thing where did I roll? Did I roll in secret? I can't remember. Or you roll? I think maybe you guys rolled.
Well, it depends. If we were doing it, we would roll the animal handling, or if we'd given it to a maester to do, you would do it in secret, and then we would or wouldn't find out if the letter arrived there.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
cool.
it was using the
Your
mace.
raven is eaten by a hawk.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Can happen.
This journey isn't far, to be fair, so I don't think it's going to be that difficult or dangerous. I've got a maester, so I can roll. I want the rule book. I want it to tell me how difficult.
Which maester is it?
This
Who is it?
Godric.
Oh,
It's an old, crumbly maester of
I would definitely be
really
being very nice to him, though.
really advancing years.
She likes old people.
This coincidentally would be the guy either to talk to, or this is the guy you have to get through to get to the records.
She will not do that right now, but she's going to be like full on best granddaughter evering at him.
I wanted to highlight that to you though.
Thank you.
To kind of put it in your brain that this is the guy. Destiny qualities, because this is normally a quality as per the rules, right? It's like Master of Ravens, but I think I kind of get annoyed that you have to take a benefit in order to like send letters like this. But you've got a maester here, so they do that service for you. Okay, it's only routine 6, so this shouldn't be too bad. Animal handling. Oh.
Oh no.
It's not that good at it. Charm specialty applies. Okay, cool. An extra degrees of success may allow you to coax some extra speed or distance out of your birds. Hi. Or through dangerous or difficult weather. All right, cool. So I guess you guys won't see this, but chat will. So I guess don't look at chat maybe for the next, 5 minutes. I don't know. GM roll. Is it all one word? GM roll, I think it is. Let's go. Okay, cool. All right, so that would tell me. And then, leaving the Maester's Tower, heading back down into the keep, as if by coincidence, but then again, nothing is really a coincidence in Westeros. You are greeted by, and I'm trying to find it in my notes, the small boy that you greased the palm of.
Ooh.
A few days ago.
Hi, little friend.
Little Tywin. And he is kind of, strangely excited, but is still trying to, be inconspicuous. It's my lady. And he starts launching into this story. I was overhearing them in the kitchens, but they were talking about how they got this letter off someone, a merchant or a knight or something.
Slowly.
But then I noticed that they mentioned your name and they mentioned Golden Grove, and so I looked around, and the letter they were talking about was just on the countertop there in the kitchens. So, well, I grabbed it, and well, it's here.
And I look at it like it might bite me. Thank you.
And so you have this folded up parchment that has obviously not been carried by a raven, as it would be one of those small scrolls. It's been carried here by a messenger, someone. But it does have the seal of the house on it. So someone of Golden Grove, someone has used your office stationery to do this.
If you've moved my pencils, I shall be so cross.
Basically, this at least seems official. And it's in a golden wax. I can imagine it's in a golden wax, like it's in a yellow orangey wax, right? Golden Grove.
With just an apple in the.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And he kind of hangs around, and he's like, "I hope it's good news."
Yeah. She'll crack it open, like have a look around just to make sure there's nobody watching over her shoulder, and crack it open and read it.
You take a look inside, and immediately you can see that it is not in a handwriting that you recognise. Someone has written this out themselves, but it's not your steward, it's not your magistrate. It's of an unfamiliar hand. And it just says, if you want to hear the truth about your father and your brother's deaths, come home.
Oh. Like as she's reading it, she's just been kind of like absent-mindedly just like smoothing this little kid's hair, and she just freezes with her hand on his head and looks around and puts it into a pocket. Thank you. Takes a coin out.
Yeah, it's a few copper. It's just something for the service essentially. And yeah, absolutely.
A little bit more. It's kind of like double what any sensible person would do, because he's been really good.
It's a little bit of pocket change for you, but for him, it's he's going to go down and get a chicken from the kitchens.
Yeah, smart boys eat well.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Oh shit. Oh. And she's just coming down the from the tower, right? I think she'll just sit there on the step, like looking like one of the maids, just staring at this thing for a very long time. That's it. I don't think she can make it. This is going to be a long time.
Yeah.
Her brain's just gone.
Yeah, no problem. If you guys are good to carry on for just a bit longer, then Tom, I want to check in with you. I want to make sure that you've got an opportunity to do anything you want, prep anything you want, or do any quick scenes that you're after before I launch the final bombshell of the night.
Shit. Oh my God. Oh, this has been an episode of bombshells. I don't think so. Currently, he's probably nursing a hangover. So he's
lightweight.
Yeah. Well, actually, he's probably not hungover. He's probably still drinking, just easing us away. No, at the moment, I don't think he wants to talk to anyone or anything like that.
You good? All right. No worries. Did you want to get any info from court? Anything around?
If there's any gossip going on, I'll probably go for any gossip that might be going along.
I probably haven't got any random gossip.
Mainly.
Wasn't anyone you wanted to hear about, no?
Actually.
Hmm?
Any Yeah. He wants to hear gossip about Faye Rowan.
This is
Hey,
easy
don't go listening to the gossip.
because I don't need to. I don't need to answer this necessarily. This is great. All right. How long do you want to spend trying to find it out? I mean, you've had probably a day. Let's take a day.
Yeah, let's say a day.
Yeah. The difficulty 9 streetwise test. Each degree of success gives you a question to ask Millie or me if needs be.
10. So 1.
1 degree of success. All right.
1 degree of success.
What would you want to know about her?
I would like to know what her reputation is like in court. In regards to the other lords and ladies.
Mm-hmm. You gather that people underestimate her.
Okay.
There's certainly a patriarchal feeling around court. She is a lady, and yet, you know, she's Marshal of the North Marches. How dare she? You know, but she is proving herself to be a very astute courtier, and Lord Leo trusts her. And she's been doing well, just helping and, you know, being kind of in the entourage of the Lord Treasurer, Lord Hightower.
Okay.
So, you know, for some landed knights, lower houses, that kind of thing, because, you know, House Rowan has a couple of houses that are sworn to it. It is one of the more prominent houses in the pecking order. And where she's positioned in court, if you want to more subtly get to the small council, the route is, I feel like the route is through Lady Faye, unless you want to counter or change any little bits of that, Millie.
I reckon she's the most approachable person, and she's also the most kind of liberal in the strictest sense of it. She will listen to anybody.
Sure.
She won't necessarily help, but she'll definitely give things consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Myria.
How did I know it was me? How did I know?
After I'm trying not to leave you on tenterhooks and give you too much stupid flavour. So after a few days at court, of you trying to do a little bit of manoeuvring, trying to get an idea of Prince Maron's movements, he has several small council meetings, he gets up to speed with what's going on. There is a day in which that you can be at court, be towards the back, be in the room as essentially his small folk or his courtiers approach him with issues, with, you know, where he's doing a proper courtly session. When, after an absence of a few days, Lord Rivers comes back to court, the Blood Raven, hood right up because of the Dornish sun, that he strides forward, tall and kind of, he's quite gaunt but almost elegant in this moment as the doors open up, and he strides forward with a few of the knights and outriders that he was working with come forward, and he walks straight up to the dais. He whispers in Prince Maron's ear, and then he steps back, and his one eye looks around court, just checking people, as Prince Maron looks concerned, and it's a kind of nervousness, and it's an uncertainty that you have never seen in him before. But he stands and he says, "My lords and ladies, I do not know how to say this. Landing at the Tor on the northern shore of Dawn, Aegon rivers and the Blackfyres have landed once more. They have landed at Jourdain, it seems. How Lord Jourdain is, and how his house and his holdfast is, we are not certain. But this is a rallying cry to the realm. The Blackfyres are back, and they must be pushed back beyond our shores once more." And while that feels like a rallying cry, there is a dead silence for a good minute inside the court as everyone just looks about themselves, basically like trying to let it sink in that they're being invaded, and this could be another civil war on our hands. What does Myria do? You know, with maybe with Nikos around, with not, depending.
Yeah. She has a look on her face that is surprised, but she also knew this was coming, right? Marzia had that dream about the golden dragon coming from across the sea, and she worried that was the prophecy of the Blackfyres returning. And Myria remembers that night at the ball during the tourney, when Marzia told her of this dream, and then Maekar had to sing his fucking song about the destruction of her family's house. And part of her is excited. Part of her is happy to hear that they have arrived. I mean, you have to also remember that she was brought up by the one-man propaganda machine that was Lord Oliver Ironwood. So she's also like, fuck yeah, they're here, finally. But I think Nikos can also see there are definitely cogs working in her brain as this news settles in, and she says to him quietly, "You know, many, many years ago, my father sided with the Blackfyres. I wonder if once again history will repeat itself."
Nikos stares out into the middle distance, just for the juicy fruits. I've just come up with this. Because you're wondering like who he is. Mm-hmm. He just stares out into the middle distance and he says, "I cannot face those fields again." That is where we will end tonight's session.
Sam! Sam! What are you doing to me?
I'm trying to keep it within 10 tight sessions. It's gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. Nope.
But it's not the final season. You'll keep saying it's not the final season. I've got another season in me. That season, war.
Got more.
Just war. Yeah, man, totally.
Let's go.
I think I'm gonna,
10 episodes of constant stabbing.
Yeah. That's what season 8 should have been. Yeah. Big battles, 2-3 big battles or something. Depending on what you guys do, pick your sides, pick what you want to do. I reckon because we've got certain, because of the way the group is now positioned out in different houses, we can have like inter-house situations going on. That, basically Don's like, I'm going to do this instead. And, Myria could command somebody or something, I guess, at some point, and all sorts of stuff. I still got plenty of fucking twists and juicy fruits coming. Don't you fucking worry. All right, but let's check in. Let's finish up, say where we can find each other and stuff on the internet, and see how excited we are for what might be coming up. Tom, what are you gonna do right now? What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
You don't know yet, but you
I
don't
have no idea.
But you also don't know about it yet.
Well, that's it, right? I have no idea. I think peace now. Hey, the host is gone.
News
Let's
travels
party.
differently. Yeah.
You know, and then there's a giant army in Dawn. Cool. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I genuinely, even now, let's just say Enzo hears it. I don't know at the moment how he's going to react. I really don't, because Enzo's kind of like in a unique decision because he's an outsider, so and he knows these changes, big things and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's already he's kind of good on the Targaryen side. This side, kind of, not really. But will he be able to do it on the other side, the Blackfyre side, if they win? He'll have to start all over again. He's like, oh, bloody hell. So I'm excited to see. It's let's see if Enzo makes it to next season where there's lots of big battles. Have you ever read Caius Cain book?
I haven't.
Basically, he's essentially this inquisitor who his entire point is to put him in the most safest position so that he doesn't die. That is what Enzo's going to be all in the last season.
I mean, that sounds like Greenmont trying to play every side, Yeah.
He's basically going to try and stay out of as many fights as he can and just keep himself safe.
Fair enough.
He's not a soldier. He's not a soldier.
Just hide in the maze.
I'm going to stay in the maze. Yep. If they can find me in the maze, well, good luck.
Going to become maze people.
Maze folk now.
Yep.
Maze folk.
We are.
One with the shrubbery.
Yeah, that's what we're now, one with the maze. Yeah, I'm really excited. So many. I didn't expect so many bombshells to drop. But
you'd all had your own little stuff going on. You had to talk to each other, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I had to dump my plot in it.
just in one episode, just throw it. Just
you want to have a conversation? Have some plot, you bastards.
Yeah.
Right.
Stop talking. Start stabbing people.
I'm so excited in so many ways now. It could go. I can't wait till next episode. I really can't. It's going to be so good. So good. I'm on the internet, Twitter. Yeah, cool.
Let me do your command. There we go.
There you go.
Right. Cheers, man.
There you go.
Beautiful. Millie.
Oh, hi.
What do you think you're going to do?
I did. What? That bombshell at the end. Holy shit.
The rebels are back, baby.
Lovely date, nice food, good company. Hope he's not a shithead. And suddenly, God. Because that's pretty much the only thing that could potentially tempt her away from stuff that needs to be done. She wants that name.
You said you wanted a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's the thing. But hey, how's Tarly? Fancy owing me a few dozen favors now, apparently, because this guy's a pushover.
Yeah.
Poor Gawain. I feel very sorry for him. But I've no idea. I think Faye would probably be fairly similar to Enzo. She's not a fighter. And she has to keep her promise to her father. She kind of has to survive. So awkward.
Yeah,
awkward situation. I'm quite interested to see how far she will go to keep that promise, and at what point it's no, you're more useful not keeping that, or you need to stay here and advise rather than be at home.
Mm.
Even just going up the river to Golden Grove is kind of a risk at the moment.
Potentially.
Just send me another raven, dickhead. None of this come here. No, you come here. You work for me.
Well, do they? You don't know who wrote the letter.
Maybe not.
Signed off a friend, but could be anybody.
I don't have any friends. Yeah. Apart from that one. Apart from the pirate, hopefully. But he might just be after my lands, so who knows? But yes, thank you for that.
That's all right.
That was very cool. I did not anticipate it going that way.
That's what I'm here
Thank
for.
you. Conspiring over sexy food.
Mm-hmm.
And for all of you who were like, just get married, just shag each other, blah, 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 blah. Like she threw herself at him last season and he stopped it. So there is no way on earth she is going to make the first move. Like she's put her cards on the table. What he chooses to do is apparently a picnic.
Or, a canal holiday.
Oh, God. Oh, no, it's narrow boating. They're now narrow boating.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I'm not going to be streaming the next couple of weeks because as of tomorrow morning, I'm ripping this place apart and turning it into hopefully something better? ? Let's see. Fingers crossed I don't cut off any of my important bits with a mitre saw.
I'll have everything crossed for you. Cheers. Thanks so much. Susie.
Sam.
It's always you, innit?
It's always fucking me. I told you going first in a session. Fuck. Blood Raven, fucking Horatio's the Admiral. Fuck.
Admiral.
Well, yeah.
It's a title, innit?
I mean, he's never done a job in his fucking life. Let's be real. So,
my legit world building thought when I was doing this earlier today was, I need a Dornish house that's on the coast that I haven't covered yet. Corgol's already that thing. I can't find any more of. Oh, this will be fun. Just
God damn it. Oh God, I can't wait to cleanse this court. It is rotten.
Just kill all of them, then there are no witnesses.
Yeah, well, it's Hitman, isn't it? I'm just gonna find the big wine press, put all of them in it, and then I'm done.
There you go.
I also want to find out whomst is this baby Blackmont? Who? Because I got a better claim than he does. So if he's the fucking going for that house, I'm gonna have words, and by words I mean stabbing. Then my boy Bestial is here with the Blackfyres, which we all know which way Myria is going. I mean, come on. We've known this from day one. Well, actually, she was a little iffy in day one. Day 3. Oh boy. And poor Nikos. Oh, that poor boy. Oh my God. But Blood Raven though, Sam, did you have to bring Blood Raven all the way down here? Huh?
Yeah, he had to find out that the fucking the Blackfyres had landed.
Can you just send a bird to do that rather than being here with this big spooky face?
I mean, I could send a raven with one red eye, yeah, if you want.
No, thanks. That's okay. All right. It's just adding to my list. I'm already busy. This holiday itinerary's just gone out of control. So, woo, juice. I cannot wait to see what happens next. You can next see me on the internet on Monday for Crusader Queens, where Sam, I, James, and Tom are queens around the world as we conquer, raid, pillage. My kingdom grew and then shrunk incredibly in size last week, so hopefully I can get some of that back. And that will be at 3 p.m. 3 on Monday, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we need to do 8 because after work.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 8 p.m. BST. That's Crusader Kings 3. Then I'm on my channel Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays. On Wednesdays, I am back here for Hexcrawl, which is our spy game actual play, which I play Elite Hacker, Athrena. Last week, we had some twisty turnies last week too. So Sam's full of it at the minute. So if you haven't ever watched Black Cat's content, now is a great fucking time to get in on it because Sam's on his bullshit with this twisty turny plotty woy stuff all over the place. It's
Yeah.
really good. Past episodes are on YouTube if you've joined us for the first time this week. So please do go check them out. Give us a little sub on there. Other than that, yeah, find me on the internet at Susanna Grace. Sorry, right down there somewhere. That way. Probably that way.
Yeah, there you go. Almost.
Got it. Nailed it. Boom.
Sweet. Yeah. Thank you all for joining me as per usual. Yeah, if you want to see more of our stuff, I'm streaming on Monday on Follow Black Cats. I have a tiara this week. Susie, you gotta step it up. Got my tiara. And yeah, I'll be trying to take Denmark further into the awesomeness. I'm making gains on the British Isles. I think I made some gains on. I can't remember now. I've been playing Sweden today, so I've completely forgotten what happened to us.
I think you got all of the writings of Yorkshire, so you have Yorkshire, which is all you need.
I did. I've got the Yardom of Jorvik. That's right. Yeah. In addition to being Danish. Yeah. And then Wednesday's Spy Game, and then the following Saturday will be After the Fire again, where we'll be on episode 5, halfway through the season, theoretically. We never finish it in time this so far. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to support us, you can check us out on YouTube, but also head over to blackcatsgaming.com, or if you want to buy any of our stuff, more stuff is coming, don't worry, then head over to blackcatsgamingshop.com, where you can grab the Spy Game. Grab the PDF, check it out to start off with, and then if you like it, we've got plenty of physical stuff as well. That one in the back there, that one in the hands there. It is a beautiful book, and I'm very, 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 very proud of it, and everyone that contributed to it. Lynn, Susie, James, everyone that was involved. Absolutely adore you. Anyway, I have not seen Who We Should Raid, so we're just gonna go bye-byes. Bye-byes. Bye everyone, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.